Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, so guys, I'm going to show some gameplay on the background, okay? And we're going to talk about a very important thing. I noticed that a lot of people, and this has been a thing for a very long time to be honest, that complain when new aircraft are added. Not like new aircraft, like for example a new generation of aircraft. For example, when the MiG-29 was added, or for example now a new F-14 is coming and whatever, you know. But when more advanced variants or different variants of already existing aircraft are added to the game. So people complain about this thing due to the fact that you have to grind another aircraft. For example, the MiG-23, I always use that example. You can use the F4E, many examples. I already did a video yesterday talking about the F4E, but anyway, the idea is that, for example, a jump from an F4E is too big to go directly to the F-15 maybe, you know? So what Gaijin could do is actually add a later block, or basically a 80s version of the F4E using 80s weaponry, so AIM-9Ls, AIM-7Ms or Fs or something like that, more advanced air-to-ground weaponry, making the F4E, even though a very limited aircraft to fight 4th generation aircraft, with its weapons, it could be able to be there, you know, at least doing something. At least, I mean, I don't know, maybe 11.3 or something. But a lot of people complain about that. And I don't blame the actual people that complain about it. I complain the grind, because all the people that complain about the specific versions of aircraft, oh, we don't need another F4. I mean, come on. They always say something like that, right? We don't need another MiG-21. There's already 25 of them. We don't need an X or Y, right? And I think it's a very interesting concept to actually have in mind, right? I mean, if people are complaining about having new aircraft or new vehicles in general, of course I'm using the aircraft as an example, but we can talk about vehicles in general, right? It's kind of like a symptom of a very, very bad problem in War Thunder. You know, because, I mean, new aircraft should be something to be happy about. You really should. It doesn't matter if it's another version of an F4, if we're going to talk about tanks, if it's another version of a T-72 or T-54. I mean, we have the T-54, 47, 49, and 51, for example, and then we jump to the T-55A. Why isn't there the T-55A, the T-55B, or something like that, right? All of these aircraft or tanks or whatever, you know, they're very, very interesting. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny little bit of difference between the two of them. I think all of them should be in the game. I really don't care. Like, there's no reason why we should not have the maximum amount of variants and vehicles in the game. There's no reason, okay? No reason. The only thing that makes people actually complain about this, which is the oddest thing ever, is the grind. Obviously, I understand. Of course, you don't want to grind another aircraft, another tank that is 300 plus thousand RP to actually be able to progress in the tech tree. I understand that. I really do. But people need to understand one thing, guys. The main problem isn't the addition of a new aircraft. The new aircraft, the new tank, it's good to have those variants, to have unique variants that have a tiny little bit of difference than the other ones. Doesn't matter. As the more variants, the more vehicles we have in game, the more variety we have in game, the more gameplay, you know, overall enjoyment we will have. The grind is the problem. The grind is the thing that destroys everything, right? That makes a new vehicle be a bad thing. So when you realize that, we can actually start to complain about the right thing in War Thunder. Not complaining about the addition of new vehicles itself, but the actual state of the game itself. It comes down to like the economy problem, right? But it goes hand to hand with the economy problem, to be honest, right? It's a problem that affects the economy as well, right? Because it's not only the grind that it's the problem, right? It's the actual being able, the actual fact of being able to actually buy the new vehicle and being able to afford to use it with repair costs and stuff. So it's the whole economy process of grinding and buying vehicles and maintaining them in the game that needs to be revised. I don't know what the actual change that it needs to be done. Overall, I think it just needs to be a lowered amount of RP in general and maybe higher rewards of Silver Lions. There are many ideas out there due to the economy backlash that they had with the new economy system, right? So there's many ideas out there that a lot of people are talking about that we could implement it. I think a minor thing that could help is exactly that. For example, an aircraft that is in a bracket. So you don't want to actually have another F4E to have to grind until you get the F-15, right? So add it in a bracket, and the aircraft that is in a bracket, for example, this late F4E, would be, I don't know, half the RP, half the price to actually buy the aircraft, something along those lines. You have the example of the MiG-21 SMT and Beast. They are in a bracket, right? Maybe research the MiG-21 SMT, but the MiG-21 Beast could be half the RP because you already researched the SMT. Half the price to buy or something like that, right? And all of these aircraft and all of these minor variants that can be a little bit different here and there that sometimes are needed to bridge the gap between older aircraft or older vehicles and newer ones, or overall just have a bridge gap in the sense of acknowledgement of how to actually use these aircraft, right? Maybe the guy is actually trying to understand how a certain aircraft is going to be used with a certain type of weapon or something. I don't know. There's many occasions that these can happen. But adding them, or these minor versions in brackets, all of them in brackets, and have them when they are in the bracket to be half the RP, or even without the bracket. I mean, the bracket is just a way to bypass the research, right? So with the bracket or not, but if it's another variant of the aircraft that it's very similar to yours, that you already just got and paid a lot of money and spent a lot of time to get it, maybe be, as I said, half RP, half Silver Lions to buy it and get it, or something like that. That way we can actually incentivize people to actually get these aircraft, and also we will get a sense of openness maybe to just get aircraft or vehicles in general that are, there in real life that can be added. So the F4E is a major example that I was saying. I mean, the F4E, a lot of people ask for an F4E with better weaponry, with A9Ls, with AIM-7Ms, or something like that, right? But Gaijin doesn't want to because it will increase the BR. So adding is in a bracket and being a very low BR to get an F4E late from the Phantom that we already have will give the player an option. He can just bypass this and go directly for a possible F-15 when it comes, but he can go and fly a higher BR. It doesn't matter. For him, he wants to fly a higher BR. It doesn't matter if it's using, he wants a better ammunition. It doesn't matter if it's a higher BR or not, for example. Maybe even the fix would be to actually add different variants to the aircraft itself, or not different variants, but upgrades that you can actually do that decrease or increase the BR. So, for example, you would have F4E Block 58 upgrade in the normal F4E. Once you actually use this upgrade, it opens up a new way of dealing with modification grind there, and you have the A9L to grind there, the AIM-7M and all the other ammunition. But together with that, an increase in the BR. So the player can actually choose to use a lower BR in the modifications, mounting this upgrade or not. So I don't know, something along the lines. As I said, many things can be added to make the game a little bit better. But I really do think that players need to realize, they really need to realize and stop complaining about the addition of aircraft and start to complain about the grind itself. I know a lot of people already do that, but do more, complain more. I mean, the economy is going to be changed, hopefully for the best and a big change. So why not add it to the grind itself, the next target, the next thing that we need to be addressing in the game, I think it's much more constructive than just complaining that a new aircraft or a new vehicle is added because I don't want to grind this vehicle. So yeah, this is at least my opinion, and I really wanted to talk about this for a very long time. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about this and if you agree with me or not, okay? Let me know in the comments, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.